All right.
So this is the thing that we sometimes do weekly. We skipped last week and we don't apologize for that because
Nope.
it was Matt's birthday. He's 67. It's unbelievable. I know he doesn't look a day over 65.
Sometimes. But anyway, this is called The Leftist Lens. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is episode 32. And might be a surprise to James, but this could be episode 1 if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or whatever, because this one's going on there.
You got that set up?
I made an account. I got to figure out how to strip the audio. And
I can do that for you. I'll strip the audio out of it, and if that's all you're going to use, obviously, then I'll send you the audio file.
I made us an account. So this could be episode 1, or I might put a couple, I don't know, I might put a couple of the older ones on there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but like the ones, let's put the ones that got the most views on YouTube and throw those on there.
Okay.
Let's see what comes of it.
Okay. So, yeah. But anyway, we talk about stuff that happened in the last week usually. In this case, we might be doing 2 weeks because we took last week off. I'm not sure. And we talk about how we feel about it.
Well, and we have an outline that we sometimes follow. And I would just like to point out that the first thing on the outline, and Matt puts the outline together, by the way, is the Justice Department just announced criminally charging Boeing for the airliner situation, not what's going on with the ISS, but the serendipity of our astronauts being stranded because of a Boeing spacecraft that is not suitable for bringing them home, and they're now being criminally sued by the DOJ for their negligent airline practices.
Yeah, so apparently ever since they merged with McDonnell Douglas, their safety record has been terrible. Their quality control is terrible. And I don't know how they convinced those astronauts to get in that thing, to be honest. It was delayed on the launch pad several times, and then it finally got up there, and now they can't come home because they're supposed to go home on the 13th. We're recording this on the 23rd. The fuel leaked out of it, so they're trying to figure out what to do. Anyway, it's kind of an embarrassment for America that our premier aircraft manufacturer sucks so bad.
Yeah, they're in some deep shit across the board, and it's going to be a tough road ahead for them, which it should be. If they've been as negligent as they appear to be, they shouldn't be in business.
And I do want to point out, this hasn't always been true. Boeing had for decades an exemplary record. From what I've read, it's with the culture change when they merged with McDonnell Douglas. The McDonnell Douglas was all about money. Boeing was about safety, and the McDonnell Douglas execs changed the culture. But that does happen in a capitalist system, though, doesn't it? The culture is always going to trend to eventually just be all about the profits.
Yeah, it is inevitable in any capitalist system, without a doubt.
Yeah, so I hope they get home safely. I hope they don't have to get Russia to send up a Soyuz to rescue them.
Well, that's what struck me as odd, is that it sounded like there is no current timetable or plan to get an alternate spacecraft up there, but you do have the Soyuz option. And say what you will about it, it has been reliable for a very long time. We're talking about since the 70s.
True, but we are in a proxy war with Russia right now. So
yeah, for sure. So where's Mr. Musk and his white savior complex now? Because
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but SpaceX has sent astronauts to the ISS on their
the Dragon capsule, many times.
Yeah, so that could be the way to go. I don't know
why that isn't like readily available, and how there isn't in any situation a valid fallback contingency operation ready to do what it's supposed to do. But maybe that speaks to NASA's failing too then.
Yeah, partly, for sure. All right, so anyway, that's an embarrassment. All right, next on the list. North Korea and Russia signed a mutual defense pact. I don't really know what to make of that. I know Russia just wants not nuclear. Russia wants North Korean weapons. They're running out of weapons in their war in Ukraine, running out of bullets. They need somebody to supply them, and they went to North Korea to get that. And in return, they promised a mutual defense. But what is Kim Jong-un going to do with that?
Well, hang on a second, because how bad is your situation that you're now leaning on North Korea is a third world country. It's a third world country for reasons that fall upon the West as much as they fall upon the ruler of North Korea. But your country, Russia, is in such shit shape that you're having to scrounge weapons from a tin horn dictator that's been under sanctions for his entire life, running a third world country into the ground. Here's what concerns me about that pact, and I have not read the verbiage of it, but just based on what it is called and what it has been presented as, a mutual defense agreement to me means if Ukraine strikes targets within Russian territory, that gives North Korea the right to strike Ukrainian targets in Ukraine. And that draws, and granted, there is a part of this that is very clearly about North Korea providing new munitions to Russia. But if North Korea starts assaulting Ukrainian positions, are we just going to sit back and watch that happen?
No, this is a major escalation and a potential for another world war. Although I'm not so sure that North Korea has the capabilities to strike Ukraine. I know they have long-range missiles. They fired them over Japan several times. But I'm not sure of their accuracy. I'm not sure if they can get all the way to Ukraine. I mean, I know theoretically they can, but I don't know.
I'm just looking at a map to see the actual distance.
They don't have aircraft carriers and stuff like that. They're not gonna be able to fly their planes over all the countries they need to get to Ukraine. Well, maybe they only have to go over China pretty much, right? I don't know. China and Russia. Actually, they can just go over Russia. They border Russia too. So they can fly planes up there.
No, dude, they are as far from. Oh my God.
It's the entirety of Russia, which is huge.
Well, it's the entirety of China. They would have to go over a large portion of China, over Mongolia, over Kazakhstan, over Azerbaijan, over Uzbekistan, Moldova.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know if their missiles can get there, and even if they can, I don't know if they're accurate enough to hit Ukraine. Like if they fire a missile in that direction, I think there's just as much chance that it hits any other country in the area, which would be
just as problematic.
Right. So I don't see North Korea getting involved in Ukraine. But it does concern me that North Korea, because they've been sending those ship balloons to South Korea for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that, but they're escalating things with South Korea. So I don't know if they're trying to provoke something there, and then they're expecting Russia to come help them. I don't know, but like you said at the beginning, Russia seems like they're hurting. I don't feel like they can open up a second front.
Yeah.
I don't know why my camera keeps changing my light. It's white, then it's red. I don't know if you're noticing that. It's weird.
Okay, so what Putin now has is access to slave labor camps. I mean, North Korea is well known for its slave labor, and so if he's going to provide the raw materials to these alleged munition factories in North Korea, then he's got free slave labor to put things together. Maybe that's what this is. It's really weird. The whole thing's weird.
It's weird, but it's a new friendship that the world doesn't really need. So yeah,
true.
We'll see what happens. All right. Other things. We would have talked about this last week probably, but they had the elections for the European Parliament, and they did not go well. The right wing gained a lot of seats. Clare Daly, who you know who she is, right? She's that Irish. Mm-hmm. She lost, so she's not going to be. She's not going to be in the European Parliament anymore. Germany's far right party now has more seats, one more seat than the two left leaning parties. One of them left and one of them just kind of center left. You combine them, the far right party has one more seat than them. So Germany's parliament is going to be Trumpian.
Well, and when you're using the terms left and right, you're using those from the perspective of what left and right is in this country, right?
Right.
And how you're characterizing those candidates. Okay.
Yes.
Because it means very different things when you're talking about it from the perspective of European countries, and it's almost the inverse of that. But it's all shit from this perspective.
Yeah, so the nationalists, the anti-immigrants, they're the parties that gain seats.
Yeah.
So that's not good, not ideal. And then I don't really understand the parliament system because we don't have one. But in France, Macron dissolved the parliament and said we're going to elect a new one because he's hoping that they can, in the month between the time he did that and the time the voting starts, which is like next week, that they can convince the French people to come out and vote against the far right people. I don't know. I don't see how that's going to go. It seems experts even say that that's very risky and that you could end up with a parliament that, prevents him from doing anything for the rest of his term, which ends in 2027. It's interesting to note that it's the opposite of what's been happening here in the elections we've been having. Right? We've had the far right people have not done so well.
Right.
In the American elections recently. So it's interesting that in Europe they did very well.
But they okay, that your statement is true about what the election outcomes have been for the last 2.5 years in the United States, but the momentum and the volume, the bravado and the bullshit from the right has only grown. They haven't quieted down at all. And there hasn't been the blue wave that was supposed to happen didn't really happen. It was sort of a stalemate in the last midterm election, that they didn't pick up as many seats as they thought they were going to pick up. The Dems picked up more than what people thought they were going to pick up. But the actual rancor and the bullshit from the right wing has never subsided in this country since 2016. I look at the shit that is just flooding social media, and most of it is flat out just disinformation, and they revel in it, and there's been no epiphany. There's been no disemboweling of these right-wing lunatics in this country. There are just as many of them today as there were in 2020. And for that reason, the degree to which we are fucked in August or October, 4 months.
Yeah. And then, as you know, the opposing forces to the far right are fractured.
Yeah.
You and I don't agree with, the majority of Democrats today.
Yeah, this is it's going to be. We should do something different on the eve of the November election, and maybe do a live. Let's do a live broadcast that night if we can. But it's going to be interesting as things. And the I don't see this in the thing, do I? Oh yeah, debate this week. That's the last thing in the list.
Because I don't really want to talk about it.
I don't either. I'm not going to watch it. You're gonna see enough about it after the fact. But my God, what the fuck?
Yeah. So yeah, well, I mean, the election's going to be anxiety ridden for sure. But I don't know. And when I think about it, Yeah, it's bad if Trump wins. It's bad if Biden wins, though. They're both terrible. I don't know. There's nothing. What do you root for
Well, I
on
think
election night?
here's what I've been thinking about, depending on who wins in November, is that if Biden wins, the things that are going to happen very quickly are probably going to be very bad, and they're going to be caused by the right wing. It's without a doubt what's going to happen if Biden is declared the winner in November, that Team Trump is going to just unleash lawsuits and legal maneuvers to try to confound this, while his minions are broiling in the streets and just they're gonna cause problems. I think
Yeah. Well, they are already saying that if Biden wins, it's stolen. Sitting Congresspeople, Marsha Blackburn tweeted it today.
Yeah.
She tweeted today that the Democrats are just setting up to pretend they didn't steal the election when they steal it again.
Yeah. And so
insane.
I don't. Okay, I am confident that a certain segment of the right has truly lost confidence in the system, but there's an enormous number of people on the right that are spewing this Trumpism idea that any result that I don't like means that I got cheated, and running with that, and it's just absolutely infiltrated their mentality that if something happens that I don't like, or if I don't get what I want, that means I was cheated. There's no such thing as a fair outcome unless I win. And that's the political philosophy of the right. And there's no disavowing that. No matter how many judges determine that a case is invalid or without merit or whatever, it's like, oh, the whole system's rigged and they're coming to get us, and Donald Trump will save us. And the fucking insanity in this country right now and amongst the electorate is just fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna find out later. It's not just the American electorate either. There's a lot of insanity everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When I talk about the crypto world later. All right. So speaking of Trump, the insane thing he said this week. He says insane things all the time. But he said this twice when he was in Philadelphia at 2 different speeches, where he talked about rounding up all the Latinos and the Chinese of fighting age, or the fighting age men from China. Those are the words he used. Wants to round them all up and deport them. And then at one of the speeches, he said he was gonna pay bounties to the local police and use the National Guard to round them all up and deport them, all of them, mind you. He's not just saying illegal immigrants, all of them. And then at the other speech, he said they should set up an MMA league. He said this to Dana White, the president of the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what? We should start an MMA league where we put all the migrants in it and they all fight each other until there's a champion. And then that champion can fight the champion of the UFC. I don't know why he said that. That's just insane. What is he talking about?
Did Dana White respond to any of that?
Not that I'm aware of, but God. Weird. So weird. That guy is, I don't know what he's talking about half the time. It's crazy. But I don't know. That's frightening. He's talking about concentration camps and stuff like that. He doesn't use those words, but that's what he's talking about. It is insane that anyone is going to vote for that guy.
You're absolutely right. And if he does get elected, the justice system, the DOJ and these state governments that are supposed to be holding Trump accountable for his crimes should be reckoned with. They should be hanged by the neck until dead, because they have failed. Because if Trump was in prison right now, and yes, the Constitution says being in prison is not a disqualifying factor from either getting elected or serving as president, but fine, let him serve from fucking prison. The fact that he's not going to be doing, there's zero chance. The only chance that we're going to see with that right now is the sentencing on July 11th for the New York case. That, by the way, is a milestone metric, depending on what this judge decides. Because I don't think the jury's deciding the sentence for that; it's the judge.
No, it's the judge.
If he fucks this up, no, there's no coming back from it. The rest of everything from there on forward is, we know how it's going to go. This is the litmus test of all litmus tests. And
as much as I want Trump to go to prison, that's not the case that's going to put him in prison. It just isn't.
It wouldn't even be prison. It would be jail. It would be state jail in New York. If he doesn't get put behind bars, in this case, he's not going to get it in any other.
You're probably right, but I want you to be wrong. I don't think he's not going to get it in this case, but I want him to get it in the January 6th case. He deserves prison for that. Which
the trial itself may not even be happening until he's in the midterm elections for his second fucking term.
Well, if he wins, the trial won't happen ever, because he'll just shut down Jack Smith.
Yeah. And he's going to pardon all the J6 that are sitting in prison too.
Yeah. If he wins, that none of that trial will happen at all.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So, I mean, like, actually, he belongs in jail for the classified documents case too.
Right. This is like a fever
but
dream.
That trial's not going to happen either.
This is how I imagine having malaria feels. It's just a constant fucking sickness and just mental dysfunction.
Malaria, I don't know. It feels like mad cow disease to me.
Spongiform encephalitis. Fuck. And you can't, and then you can't, these dynamics that I'm kvetching about, you can't cheer these things on if you're on the other side of this mental equation, because you can't possibly think that you're going to get away with the things that he's going to get away with. This shit doesn't apply to you, man. And these people think that, oh yeah, now, yeah, he's a free man. So I'm going to steal classified documents. I'm going to sell secrets to Russia. I'm going to do this, the same things. No, the fuck you're not. You're going to go straight to prison, motherfucker, and nobody's even going to know this. So you can't cheer the shit on.
I'll tell you another thing that's a little bit worrisome is the Supreme Court has not announced their decision in the immunity case.
Yeah.
They have a decision. They have not announced it. Why?
Wait a minute. Where did you get that information?
Apparently, they've made all their decisions in all their cases. They're just writing the briefs.
Oh.
Or they're writing the, because they write dissents. Some of them write dissents. Other ones, write the supporting thing. I don't know.
Well, there's no doubt that
Elena Kagan also said that she said something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she said something that made a lot of people think that they had decided wrongly in that case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she made some kind of statement about the future being. I don't remember. I don't want to say, because I don't remember exactly what she said, I don't even remember kind of what she said. But she said something that implied that we were going to be disappointed in some of their decisions. And a lot of people took it to mean that they made the wrong decision in that case. So I hope that's not true. Because that is insane.
Well, I know that some public statement she made recently was specifically about another case unrelated, and it had more in it. The impact and she stated directly that the impact that it's going to have is on same-sex couples. I don't remember what the case was, but that's the only public statement I've seen her make. So if she's made a broader statement about other decisions that haven't been announced yet, and
it's possible that that's what people are referring to, and they're just wrong about what it's about. It's possible. Yeah.
Because that one, she did say that
I do a lot of hearsay on this show. I hear what other people say.
This is the shit that we hear. We're just talking about the shit that we hear. Oh fuck.
All right. Our favorite topic. You want to talk about our favorite topic?
Israel. I hope Hezbollah keeps banging the shit out of northern Israel and the rest of Israel.
Yeah, so
And
northern Israel is on fire, and I don't know, there was a video of the Hezbollah leader, I'm guessing, talking about we're ready for war with Israel, blah blah blah. But I just saw just before we came on the air here that Netanyahu said that the major offensive in Gaza is about to wind down, and they're going to shift their troops to the Lebanese border. So
okay.
I don't know.
And I've seen him bitching, and they've been going back and forth with Washington about whether or not Washington is holding back on arms supplies, and Washington is denying that they are. And,
Right.
and Netanyahu keeps whining that they're not giving me the bombs, they're not giving me the bullets, and fuck you.
I mean, Biden did briefly delay the 2,000 pound bomb shipment, but I'm pretty sure that went through by now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Also, this I just read about this morning. An Israeli investigation. It was not by the Israeli military. It was the Israeli media, an Israeli newspaper. Did an investigation into the Hind or Hind. We talked about her several episodes ago. A 6-year-old girl who got killed.
Mm-hmm.
They determined that was done by an Israeli tank that was less than 100 feet away.
100 feet away.
100 feet, which means they did not mistake what they were shooting at. They did not mistake that they were shooting at a 6-year-old girl. They did not mistake that they were shooting at the ambulance that came to save her. They knew what they were doing.
Israel has made no mistakes in this war. I don't care what scenario you pull up, whether it's shooting their own people, not wanting their own hostages to get released, killing innocent women and children and men. None of it's been a mistake. It's all by design. It's all by design. It's fucking disgusting. It has been from the beginning, and it has just persisted for how many months now? November, December, January, February.
That's I don't know if we talked about this, but another report came out last week or the week before that the Israeli military knew about October 7th for months beforehand. Mm-hmm. They knew how many people were going to participate in it. They knew what day it was happening. They knew where it was coming from. They knew all that, and they didn't stop it. And then Netanyahu literally it was an interview, and he said that they needed that to get the public support to do what they're doing now.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, they moved the date of that music festival so that it still coincided with when those events that happened October 7th were actually going to happen. So all by design. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And this comes back to, and I hate that I'm making this connection because I'm not that person, but I'm making this connection. People talked about 9/11 in regard to the same thing with the United States needed 9/11 to happen.
They talked about Pearl Harbor like that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, because I do know that particularly Pearl Harbor, and a lot has been studied about that. There was a report that Japan was about to attack Pearl Harbor, but it was amidst thousands of other reports, and nobody actually had looked at it before it happened. They found it after the fact. 9/11, I don't really know. I've seen all the conspiracy theories about that. I don't really believe them, but I don't know. Who knows?
In hindsight, it's painful, but at some point we have to admit that there's only two possible scenarios. One is an absolute truth, is that the black eyes that we've gotten at the hands of people from other countries have not been undeserved. These are logical responses to the imperialism, the colonialism, the exploitation, and the degradation of other people that we have made a practice of around the world. So this.
And speaking of that, do you think our support of Israel right now is making us safer?
Fuck no.
No.
The
likelihood of another terrorist attack on American soil has gone up significally since our
as a direct
Israel
result of U.S.
significantly.
Policy. No, we're definitely not more safe as a result of everything that we've done in the past year. But I also don't think that anything that comes to us in terms of repercussions are things that we haven't earned. I've been telling people this since October, that when it happens to your children, when it happens to your brother, sister, mother, father, uncle, cousin, that something occurs in this country as a retaliation for the support that we've provided for this genocide. Remember why it happened. Remember what happened. And some people have heard that and gone like, holy fuck, I never considered that. But it's inevitable. And it may be a generation from now. It may be some 7-year-old child in Gaza who is now on the path to radicalization based on what he's had to survive, he or she, that is going to inflict retribution for the loss of his family. And it's justifiable. It's justifiable.
Israel's not safer either, because the kids that survive this, they're not going to grow up to want to be friends with any Israelis, right?
No. And Israel has no agenda to ever be safer. Israel exists and thrives on its police state infrastructure. And so if Israel was ever in a true state of harmony with its neighbors, they wouldn't know what to do, because their industries, the infrastructure on the ground in Israel itself is dependent upon an ideology of fear and victimization and of themselves, of this mentality that you're never going to be safe. You need us to build these walls and set up these checkpoints and keep these brown people under surveillance. And, and that has to be because there are industries that are built up around that, and they depend on that. And so it's
and we depend on it too. Not you and I, but the United States.
Yeah. And the fucking defense contractors that I work for that rely on that mentality also to keep the machine moving. It's just.
I was told once at a right arm night, you know what those are?
Mm-mm.
That's where your commander, when you're in the military, your commander takes you out for drinks.
Oh, okay.
If you're their right arm, right? So I was told by an 06, a full bird colonel on a right arm night, while he was drinking, that we will have a major war every 20 years, he said, at least. And if we don't have a reason for one, we'll make a reason for one, just to ensure that the general officers and the senior enlisted are always have combat experience. And if you look at the wars we've had, that seems pretty true. Conspiracy theory there for you.
I mean, you map it out every 20 years easily. It's been even shorter durations than that more recently.
Yep. All right, we're gonna lighten up a little bit. This is a conspiracy thing. A lot of facts here, though. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, in the crypto world for some reason has this idea, because Trump is accepting crypto as donations for his campaign. And when I say the crypto world, I don't mean Americans. I mean the world, right? They believe that if Trump wins, it'll be good for crypto. So there's all these meme coins being created right now. There are at least 20 coins called DJT, Donald J. Trump, right now. Well, one launched last week that somehow the rumor went around that this was a real one, that Trump was involved himself. It launched. It went to $400 million market cap. People put $400 million into this coin. This is in the matter of hours, right? And then it went to zero. So whoever created the coin stole all the money. Now listen, this is where it gets interesting. A couple days later, Martin Shkreli, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Pharma bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that raised the price of insulin to a couple $1,000s, and then everyone hated him. And then Wu-Tang came out with an album there was only one copy of, and he bought it and wouldn't let anybody listen to it. And then he got arrested for some kind of fraud and went to prison for a little while. Well, he goes on. There's a popular crypto guy, Mario Newfall. He hosts a show on Twitter where he interviews people involved in crypto and stuff. He's a little bit far right. I don't listen to it anymore. But he had Martin Shkreli on his show because Martin Shkreli said that he was involved in that coin. And that coin was created by Baron Trump. And he can prove it, he says. He says, I have thousands of pieces of evidence. And I can prove it. So let that sink in for a minute. Known fraudster Martin Shkreli is telling everyone that Baron Trump stole $400 million in a crypto scam.
Oh, okay. That should be easily trackable.
Well, in crypto, it's not easily trackable.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, it is. It could be trackable if he all of a sudden has $400 million, then yeah. But he says he has all the evidence. Now, the crypto community is debating this, and what the general consensus that everyone believes is that it wasn't Baron Trump, but it was somebody impersonating Baron Trump, and Martin Shkreli's a fucking idiot, and he fell for it.
That's entirely possible.
So that's what a lot of people think.
Because when you say created this coin, what does that even mean?
That means they went and got a developer and said, write up this contract. We're going to launch this coin, and they market it and they get people to invest in it. But I know something made people invest in this coin because all the other coins called DJT or Donald J. Trump or Trump, whatever. First of all, most of them are scams, but none of them reached $400 million. Something got people to believe that was actually something that Trump was involved in. And I don't think it was just Martin Shkreli. It could have been. It might have been him just telling people. I'm not. All this stuff happens on Telegram. I'm not in all these I'm in a lot of crypto telegrams. I'm not in the ones where the rich assholes decide, which coin is going to get to $400 million, because that happens. Those conversations happen, and it happened in this case. And somehow those people were convinced that Donald Trump was somehow involved in this, or Baron Trump was somehow involved in this. I don't know. And I don't know. It's just interesting. So that'll come out. If that happened, it may come out. But the other thing people are pointing to is how protective of Baron Melania is. And this is a very public accusation. Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows that Shkreli accused Baron Trump of doing this. And she hasn't said anything, which is interesting.
Well, where is she? Because have we seen or heard anything from her in months?
No.
And Baron's a full-ass adult, right?
He's 18 now, so yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's entirely. Shkreli is off his nut. He's been off his nut.
Yeah. Well, some other things Shkreli said. He said that he and Baron are friends, and that Baron went to him when he was deciding where to go to college for advice. And that's when they started talking about this coin. That's his story. So
does he look anything like Baron?
Who?
Shkreli.
Shkreli? I don't know. No, not really.
Okay. I was wondering maybe there's some bond there that we don't know about.
No.
Holy fuck.
So that is bizarre. It's just bizarre. Now, I tend to believe that Shkreli is just full of shit. He is a convicted fraudster.
Yeah.
I just think he's full of shit.
But Baron Trump is the spawn of the greatest fraudster ever.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
And he hasn't disavowed his father in any way. I know that he was invited to be a delegate at for the Florida party, but he turned that down. I thought, well, that's good, but I don't know why he turned it down.
Right.
Oh, well, I've heard nothing about this. This is all news to me, so I'm going to be watching that now to see
Yeah.
what.
So RIP if you invested in the DJT coin and lost all your money to somebody. I doubt it was Barron Trump, but Shkreli says it was. I just think that's interesting.
If you're investing in anything with Donald Trump's name on it, you deserve to lose all your money. I don't give a fuck about you. I hope you suffer. I hope your asshole grows shut and you walk around the beach wondering why you're getting larger.
All right. Next thing, I want to talk about political ads because I live in a swing state and we're getting ads now. Lots of them. And I just want to point out, I sat for an entire day on yesterday, well, entire evening, and wrote down all the ads I got. I had 17 ads. There were 3 anti-Trump ads. All of the ads were negative. None of the ads were for anybody. None of them. There were 3 that told me how bad Trump was. There were 2 that told me how bad Biden is. And the rest were McCormick, who's running for Senate, and Laughlin, who's running for Senate. They're both bad too, because they have the anti each of them ads left and right. Nobody has an ad that says I'm so and so and I support this message. They're all PAC ads, and they're all negative. So, and here's my thought though. When I was doing this, I was like, this is actually reality. They are all bad. None of them do have anything to run on that's positive. Right. They actually are all bad. Oh, my lights just came on.
So they're accurate. They're in line with reality. Yes.
Yes.
I see that.
So I don't know, but it's weird because I don't feel like it's always been that way. I know negative ads have always been a thing, but I don't think they've ever been the only thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, this comes back to something that we've talked about briefly before. It's been a while, but we've mentioned this, is that the people who hate Joe Biden, not people like you and I, but the other people that hate Joe Biden, the list of reasons they have for hating Joe Biden don't make any fucking sense. It's either not reality, it's not true, the things that they're talking about, or it's inconsequential. The things that you and I hate Biden for are demonstrable and real and tangible. So it's the imaginary things that people are saying about other candidates. It says, oh, he's a bad candidate because he sniffs children or some shit. And that has no place in why I hate Joe Biden. And so I see, who was it? Oh, I don't even know who it was. It was a tweet that I saw today. Somebody talking about, yeah, Biden is this, and this. And in fact, none of those things are true about Joe Biden, whatever this list was. But there are enough other reasons to despise the man. Why aren't you latching on to that? There's substance to be. And like Trump is a disgusting pig. Yes, I can see that. But I can give you 7,500 reasons why no one should be supporting him, and how you're crazy if you do. And none of it is conjecture. None of it is, oh, Donald Trump puts his dick in banana pudding or some shit. That isn't, maybe that's true. I don't know. It's entirely plausible. But it's just stick with the facts. The facts about both candidates are awful. There's nothing good about either one of them. But you can demonstrate that with real truth and real facts, not the fucking QAnon bizarre shit. And that's what bugs me, is that the people that are running their mouths about, most of the time, both these candidates are not even on target with things that are worth hating somebody about. It's fucking disgusting. Then these two guys are going to get in a room together. What, next week?
Yeah, this week.
This week.
Yeah.
And have a debate.
Uh-huh.
They're going to have a debate. What the fuck? Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not watching the debate. I can't think of anything I would want to watch less. I'll read about it after. I'll probably see some clips.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
But that's a
You're not
waste
be able
of
to
fucking time to watch that shit show.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna set time aside in my day to sit and watch that. You'll be subjected to clips of it and all the other propaganda afterward. That'll be fun. But these two fucking demented, corrupt geriatrics. Whatever they're going to be doing in that room is just, oh my God. Fuck.
Yep. Other things happening this week. When is Netanyahu coming?
I had heard that was canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because he's bitching about not getting the weapons he wants. So I had heard that. I think I had heard that the Speaker of the House asked him not to come, unless it's something he's doing in private. But he's not addressing like the House or anything, as far as I know.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
I may be wrong, but we can look that up and clarify it.
I see we got the Palestine flag on Twitch. How come we don't have that on here?
We do have it on here.
Oh, I guess I just don't see it.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't. It'll show up in the final product that I post to YouTube though. So I have an announcement. I'm getting married on Tuesday.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited. We're doing it out on the beach on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and it's just going to be she and I and her little boy, and it's a big deal, and I'm very happy.
That is a big deal. Good for you.
Thank you. She's out of her fucking mind. I don't know what she's thinking, but she's fully vested as I am. So
if you marry her, does that mean we don't have to put her on the payroll for being our engineer?
I think if we do that, that's nepotism, and that's frowned upon in some ways. So I think we may have to dodge some bullets with that. But yeah, I couldn't set this shit up without her anymore. Everything behind the scenes of how this is set up and working has nothing to do with me.
I do know that.
Yeah. and the fact that it's working. If I even tried to do this, you'd just see me sitting here with my blood pressure going up and losing my mind. But she's the pro at this, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm happy for you, James. That's awesome.
Thank you. So do we have anything cooking for? I can't think of anything that's on the horizon for this coming week.
I don't know. But if somebody ever wants to correct anything we say, do it. We'll address that in our next episode.
Yeah, nobody ever tell you to go fuck yourself. That's what
nobody ever does. If you see this on YouTube, click like, click subscribe, tell your friends. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts from, I don't know, rate a review. I don't know what you do there.
I don't know either. I mean, there must be like you give a rating. There's a rating system, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Give us.
If you don't like us, though, just keep it to yourself.
That's right. Go fuck off. All right. So you and I will keep in touch through the week, and we'll throw ideas back and forth, and we will plan on doing this next week.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Thanks,
have a
everyone.
good week. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you throughout.
All right.